Hey everyone, we still have some folks joining and we have about another minute before we officially start. If you haven't had a chance to put your name in the chat, go ahead and say that you're here. You might have some friends that are also here and they might see you. So moms or dads or guardians that are helping our littlest campers, thank you. Do you have anything working, Sophie? All right, campers, we are going to get started for tonight, and I hope that all of our technology is pairing up and working right. And if it is, we have some of y'all on Zoom, and then some of you are over on Facebook. So hopefully you can enjoy tonight. If we end up with any glitches, I apologize in advance. I wasn't planning to do the Zoom with the Facebook when we set this up, but I know that some of you really like to see faces, so I wanted to give you all an opportunity to do that with the Zoom setup. So hopefully we can make that work, especially when we get to some of our activities. I see people saying hi on Zoom and Facebook. Feel free to use the chat or the comments in both as we go throughout the program. Grace and Sophie, if you watched the videos with the songs, they're my daughters, and they are helping monitor both Zoom and chat. If we have some of our adults on, any extra monitoring is always appreciated, but I think we're going to remember to be a sister to every Girl Scout, be kind, be appropriate, and overall, we're just going to have some fun as we work on our journey this week and we meet in the evenings. So let me see if I can get my stuff working here. All right, so Greene Summer Camp. We have a record for Greene Summer Camp. We have 88 girls registered for camp this year. Some of you, like I said, are on Zoom, some are on Facebook. Some are gonna join at other times because these should be saved and posted up there. But everybody is from all over. If you are in one of the chats or if you're on Facebook, go ahead and tell everybody where you're from. I put a little map here of where Virginia Skyline Council is. It's the dark green. And then the other map where that little red spot is, that's where Greene County, Virginia is. So if you aren't from Virginia and you're like, where is this? We're on the eastern side of the mountains here in Virginia. And we actually just had a big thunderstorm come through and we're very happy we had power come back on. So that's summer here in Virginia. I see some of my Greene County girls, the South Carolina. Let's see. I don't see anybody New Jersey over on Facebook. So it's good to see everybody from all kinds of places. And we hope that this is a fun experience for everybody as we come together in this new and different way. The Greene Summer Camp has two directors. The first one is me, Miss Beth. Feel free to call me Miss Beth. If you need me in Messenger, you can type me there. If messages start going very fast, then you might need to tag either Sophie or Grace. I am not sure that Miss Tabitha is online yet. I haven't, oh, Gabriella's on. All right, so Tabitha's there. So she can be tagged too. Feel free to call her Miss Tabitha. Miss Tabitha's our nurse for camp. This year we don't need a nurse. So that's kind of a blessing that we don't have to issue out any Band-Aids this year. But we're both around. If you have questions this week, let us know and we will do our best to address them. So you will see us, sharing over on the Facebook pages. Even if you're on Zoom, make sure you're following us on Facebook. Announcements are going up there. Our songs of the day are going up there. And you will continue to want to check that throughout the week. All right, there we go. We are going to start this off as we do with most of our Girl Scout events. While we are not raising the flag, either at the park or at the school with our full court of honor and our flag ceremony, we still want to do a Pledge of Allegiance. So I'm going to make it so that those of you that are on Zoom can unmute, okay? And if you want to join in on the Pledge of Allegiance, feel free to. You'll be able to unmute yourself. Otherwise, you can just stand and say it. And if somebody else is in the room, they can say it with you or just listen to you. But we're going to go ahead and let me unmute everybody. All right, some of you are already talking. So let's see. Brooke, I see you stood up right away there, and I'm probably going to be cut off when I stand up here. There we go. Brooke, do you want to start us in our Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the
flag
of the
United States of America
and to the
republic for which it stands,
one
nation,
under
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Brooke. I put you on the spot there. That was great.
My name's Anna, and I'm at work. I'm just using my mommy's computer.
Very good. All right, next up, we are going to do our Girl Scout promise. So you don't have to stand up for this one, but you're going to put your 3 fingers up, and we're going to start saying our promise.
I do it.
All right, see, Start Events, I see you with your mic on. Do you want to go ahead and start our Girl Scout promise, Start Events?
Sure. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law.
Way to go, guys. Thank you. We will start off each day with our pledge and our promise, just to make sure that, we continue those very important traditions.
You have to click.
All right, I am going to remute everybody so everybody can make sure they can hear as we continue to go through the rest of our activities. All right, oops, I shouldn't have done that yet because the next step's our song. All right, so if you were on Facebook, you saw I posted 4 songs. And in there was our opening song, our closing song, and then I think it wasn't 4 songs, I'm sorry, it was 3. And then our song of the day, but there was 4 videos. There was a tutorial, and then there was the video that showed how to do the song of the day. So 4 videos went up. Our intro song for each day this week will be Make New Friends. And so we're gonna go through this, and I am gonna ask Sophie and Grace to kick us off on doing this one. They did our videos for us. So give me a second to unmute everybody here. All right, so if you wanna be on your mic singing along with Make New Friends, you can right now. Sophie and Grace, can you go ahead and kick us off on our song? Yes.
I don't know this song.
Down here. You know that song. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in that. We will get through all of these mutes and unmutes, I promise. All right, up next, our game. All right, so I want this to be a little interactive, even though we're all sitting here in front of computers or iPhones or tablets or whatever you are connecting with us. So our first thing up is a game. So what changed is our game. There are 2 pictures here, and they have 10 differences between the 2 pictures. So you are supposed to look at picture 1 and see what's different in picture 2. And I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to work on this. If you want to, probably the best thing to do is type what you see in your chat, but don't hit send yet. So that way everybody's not copying your answers. I will give you a hint that they are small, okay? Let's not draw on the screens. I have somebody drawing on the screen. If you have a question, you can put that in one of the chats. Some of these are tricky. So if you have a buddy, like a parent or guardian or a sibling sitting there with you, you might need to use more than one head to try to find these. So if he's telling me she's only found 4. Samantha says she has 5. I'm gonna admit that I went for a harder one, but I also went for the outdoor themed one. So for my little girls, I'm sorry that it's a little harder, but my older girls, which we do have some high school girls even joining us today, this is at your level here. I see more people joining on Facebook, so hi to our Facebookers. All right, I see a 5, I see a 9. My peanut gallery here says they're at 7. Tricky, isn't it? Oh, starting to see a couple 10s. Madeline, are you gonna help your sister out there? I'm seeing some 10s. I'm seeing some 10s. All right. Some of you want to start. Let's see. All right. I'm seeing a few more. I see a lot of faces really studying their computer screens here and some foreheads even. Let's scroll down and see who all sharing their pictures. All right, let's see where our answers are, okay? I'm gonna switch over. All right, so where the little check marks are, those are the differences. So those of you that said you have the 10, I want you to look and see if the 10 were where the check marks actually are. Oops. I hit my keyboard. Sorry, y'all. All right, some of them are really, really tricky. Like the man in his hat color, that one I thought wasn't too bad. But then you get up to like the fence, and it's the order that the beams cross switches. Yeah, the bush one's a little tricky too. Sophie's saying she didn't get this one over here where it hangs down more than it did over here. So that's a fun game. I gave you the link here for the website that this came from. If you like these types of games, I will share that over on our Facebook page too. They have a bunch of them up there where you can look at the pictures and you mark it. And as you mark it, it gives you these little check marks so you know that you got it right, or nothing appears if you guess wrong, like I may have once or twice. So that's just, one of the fun things that we'll be doing as we go throughout the week is having a game at the start of our meetings. The games are different every day. So no more pictures like this unless I bring one back on Friday when we have our big wrap up day. But I hope everybody enjoyed this game and at least found a couple, and maybe you can go to the link when we share it and try out a few more. All right. So next up, we're going to shift a little bit, but not much, because I'm going to bring our game back into our picture here shortly, is a conversation on what do scientists do. Now, the best way to do this is to type in chat or in your Facebook your answers. And if you have little fingers that give you an answer and it's easier for you to type, feel free to be the typer. If you want to unmute, I will go ahead and do that, but I'm going to try to go through and mute everybody as I do that. So you'll have to go in and click yourself off to talk if you want to say what your idea is. As I see ideas posted, I will start to say them out loud so that everybody can see what's being posted there. So let me do this. I'm gonna have to scroll through. You can type answers in.
There's another website.
All right. Oh, okay. You guys are typing fast here. Hold on. I see. They study animals. Scientists do all kinds of things. They study everything. They can try to find different solutions to sickness. That's very appropriate in our current situation, isn't it, Miss Hannah? All right. They study and find new things. I love that answer, Gabby. They work in labs sometimes. They study plants. They measure things. Oh, that's fun. They form hypothesis. I have it right here. Discovery. I see a lot of discovery. Scientists observe, create, think, and explore. Ooh, I like that, Madeline. Caitlin, let's see. They study important things like animals. Animals are very important, aren't they? They do experiments. Geology, find dinosaurs. I like that. Life itself. Let's see. Examine stuff was an answer over on Facebook. A scientist researches to find answers and questions about our world, ourselves, and our galaxy. That is such a high school answer there, Miss Amy. I'm impressed. All right. I like all of our answers there. Those are so good. Everybody did some different things and they said different aspects. I'm still seeing answers coming in. If you haven't finished typing, please keep typing your answers. We want to see it. They go to different places to work on all kinds of projects and study research so that we don't have to. Isn't that true? Like, can we be in all places at the same time? But we have scientists that are all over the world doing different things. A chemist, a biochemist, those are different kinds of scientists for sure, Samantha. All right. I love seeing all the answers. Feel free to keep typing answers on Zoom or over on Facebook. I have some more of you over on Facebook, so feel free to keep commenting over there. What we are going to talk about, chemists are the best, is what Gabby said. Gabby, is someone in your family a chemist? All right. Our scientific method. Your mom. Moms in STEM are great, aren't they, Gabby? So, all right, our scientific method is what we're going to talk about next. So there's all different kinds of ways to visualize the scientific method. When I was trying to pick a picture to put here, I probably found thousands and thousands of different pictures. So I got Grace and Sophie to help me pick one that would try to bridge our gap, because remember, we have girls here from rising first grade to rising 12th grade. So we have a lot of varied experience here. So I hope that everybody is taking something away and understanding that we're talking to both younger girls and older girls with a bunch of girls in the middle too. So scientific methods, some of you may have studied this already in school. You may have done a science experiment in school or done a science fair project. If you have a favorite science experiment or science fair project that you've done and you want to tell us what it is, feel free to put it in the chat in Zoom or over in your chat in Facebook. We'd love to hear about some, erupting volcanoes. Or my science fair experiment as a middle schooler was about fruit flies and rotting fruit. And my mother did not like that in her kitchen, but I did it for 3 years for my science fair project. So I guess she ended up being okay with it, right? So we had a lot of fruit flies in our kitchen. Sophie, my friend did one with dry ice. That's really cool. Dry ice can be something very cool to watch and observe, but you have to be very, very careful with dry ice. It can actually hurt you. So if you have a favorite experiment you've done, or you have a science fair project you've done, feel free to leave it in a comment. But our scientific method here, often has some repeats in it. So that was my one concern with this graphic that I'm showing today, is that it doesn't talk about how sometimes you have to keep trying your experiment over and over to get the results that you need. So while we talked about everything that our scientists did, we had so many answers a few minutes ago. And I'm going to scroll up because there was one I was thinking of that I wanted to say. All right, Madeline said, scientists observe, create, think, and explore. So let's look at this scientific method and see how that all happens. You know, observing, you know, when they're doing their experiment and their analysis, that takes a lot of observation. And they have to create what their project actually is. That's very important. And then they have to think, so analyze and come up with their conclusion. But all of this comes from their exploration, because they are constantly out there looking and trying to learn and trying to understand, trying to find things that we might not even know anything about. I see a few more comments over here. Let me scroll back down. Different temperatures of butter for cookies for my science fair project. Sophie's classmates really loved that science fair experiment because they got to eat all the cookies. Elizabeth played with fire for an experiment. You gotta be very careful with that fire. I hope you had the fire extinguisher. Hannah, oh, annoying noises and concentration for your science fair. I remember seeing that one, Hannah. It was a really great one. And Sammy has growing crystals. I love the growing crystals and the little kits you can get. There was a liquid nitrogen ice cream. Now, these experiments that involve food, I am really for all of these. Let's see, over on Facebook, I see I like making tinfoil boats. I'm not sure, I think this is the mom's name, but Miss Linda, your daughter that made the tinfoil boats, did she count how many pennies it held when you put them in the tinfoil boat? And then, let's see, Lucy says making oobleck and vinegar baking soda volcanoes. There's the volcano. I knew somebody had to make a volcano. And oobleck. Oobleck is very fun. I remember making oobleck when I was a Girl Scout forever ago. So, all right, I still see more messages coming in. I learned my lesson. Elizabeth, let's be very careful with the fire and make sure there's an adult and a fire extinguisher. All right, edible slime, Samantha Garrison, and burning your hand. Okay, we need Miss Tabitha to give us a safety briefing, I think, on our science experiments. Because it seems like we have a few safety issues, girls, but I love that you did so much experimenting and using this. Now, sometimes our experiments are stuff that we actually have to do. Excuse me. Sometimes there's something we have to see. Yep. Sorry, I had to get Sophie to come over. My throat got too dry for me there. All right. So sometimes our experiments are something that we do. So at work, I did an experiment sending out an email actually, and it said two different things. So sometimes it's not stuff that's in a lab, but we still use this where we have our hypothesis and we have our variables and we change stuff up and see what our results are. So all of that is stuff that's going to come into play as we go throughout our week here. And this is probably also a good time to stretch our legs for a few minutes. So Sophie and Grace, I think to make this happen so the people on Facebook can sing, you're gonna have to come over to my camera. But we are going to switch over to our song. Our song of the day is Bazooka Bubblegum. So Sophie and Grace, can you come over? All right, so they're gonna come over here.
Oh, you don't go, you don't get.
Okay.
Hey, I didn't go.
Everyone ready? Ready? Lyrics are on the screen. Okay, ready?
We're unmuted, you know.
Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. Say what? Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. I can't hear you. Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. My mom gave me a penny. She said to buy a henny. I did not buy a henny. Instead, I bought some bubblegum. You're keeping the airspace.
Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. Say what? Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. I can't hear you. Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. My mom gave me a nickel. She said to buy a pickle. I did not buy a pickle. Instead, I bought some bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. Say what? Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. I can't hear you. Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. My mom gave me a dime. She said to buy a lime. I did not buy a lime. Instead, I bought some bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. Say what? Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. I can't hear you. Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. My mom gave me a quarter. She said to buy some water. I did not buy some water. Instead, I bought some bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. What? Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. I can't hear you. Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka,
bubblegum.
my mom gave me $1. She said to buy a collar. I did not buy a collar. Instead, I bought some bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. Say what? Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. I can't hear you. Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. My mom gave me a 5. She said to stay alive. I did not stay alive. Instead, I choked on bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. Say what? Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum. I can't hear you. Bubblegum, bazooka, zooka, bubblegum.
All right. Sorry about my coughing fit there, but perfect timing on our song of the day. Did you guys already know that song, or was it a new song?
New.
New. Hopefully you have some familiar songs and some new songs this week. You will see the song of the day be posted over in our Facebook page. So tomorrow's song posts at 8:15 this evening Eastern time. So if it is a song that you don't know, there'll be a tutorial and the sing-along song so that you'll be ready to join in with singing with us tomorrow. So, all right. Now we are going to go back. Switch gears. We had our little stretch break, enjoying our singing there. And we are going to go back into our mode of science. So our next topic is observing like a scientist. And our question is, does anyone know what observation is? So I'd like for you to put your answer in the chat on Zoom or Facebook. I see a couple comments over on Facebook. We know the song. It was a new song. So Grace and Sophie picked their 4 favorite songs to do this week. So you will hear some fun camp songs that we are used to singing at Greene Girl Scout Camp. So for those of you that come to our camp in person, you probably know all of them. For those of you that don't come to our camp, they might be new songs. The fun thing with all the songs this week is that they have lots of different renditions. So some of them you might think, oh, I know that song, and then we end up singing it different than you. And that's the case for so many Girl Scout songs. All right, I'm starting to see some answers on observation here. All right, I see looking at something and studying it. I like that. It is where you examine something. It means to look and to study something new. Observation is what you notice about something as you are studying and looking at it. Watching something for a certain amount of time. You look at it very closely. Observation is examining something and see what happens. Ooh. Look at something in detail and find information that you might use for an experiment. I like this. And let's see, over on Facebook, I have looking and taking notes on something. So many great answers here. I like them. Oh, watching stuff. Was that the one I missed? When you look at something and find some of the differences are and examine it and chart your data. That's a good one. All right, so observation is watching and noticing something using all of your senses, especially sight, to gather information. So sometimes we might use more than our eyes. With our picture that we looked at earlier, we really just used our eyes, right? We couldn't smell anything with it. We couldn't taste anything. We couldn't hear anything, and we couldn't touch anything. So it was all up to our eyes to find those 10 differences. But if we're looking at something outside, then we might also be listening and smelling to see if there's differences out there. Some of the experiments you guys said involve tasting. So that's something. Touching and feeling can also be, but we often have to be very careful because our hands and the way we touch and feel stuff can sometimes change what we're looking at. So that's something that, you know, a lot of scientists aren't just sitting there squishing stuff to see, you know, how that is, unless that's really what their experiment is. Which if they're working with like foam or something, it might be. But most of the time, like it says, you're using your sight the most, and then you're involving your other senses. So that's something to keep in mind. And so our first game was all about observation, and you guys didn't even know it. So it was a little tricky on Miss Beth's part there. But we use observation all the time without knowing that we're doing that. And it's something that our scientists all around the world do every day as part of their job. All right. And like I already covered that because I didn't catch that it was my next question here. But when you were looking at that picture, my question that I had here was, how did you figure out what was different? Were you looking at the one picture and then looking at the second picture to see if it looked exactly the same in that area? Were you skimming like up and down? What kind of strategy did you have as you were trying to find the 10 different things? See some comments on how you found the answers in our What Changed game at the beginning. From one to the other, looking at both pictures. I tried looking at different sections of the picture and just looking between the two back and forth to see if I could find stuff. That didn't work for all 10 for me. I then had to like start going down like there was an invisible grid and start trying to go through and find the different aspects that were there between the two pictures. I looked at one piece of the picture and then seeing if the other side was the same or not. Looking at one item on the first picture, looking at it again on the other picture to see if it was different. So a lot of people were using the same way of looking at those two pictures. All right, good feedback, everybody. So today's topic for our journey, remember our journey is Think Like a Citizen Scientist, was all about observation, knowing how to use our observation skills, because that's going to come into play as we have our camp meetings through the rest of the week. So looking for one is too easy. Elizabeth, remember we have everybody from first graders to 12th graders here, so lots of age variations. So we will be playing some more games. We will be singing some more tomorrow. We will be working on another activity tomorrow. And I'm going to have some more of those details coming up, but we're going to keep going back to this observation part. So keep that in mind. And then let's see, next up, we are going to do our closing song. Now this is a little tricky because this isn't the very, very end, but I want to go ahead and do the song. And then we will start to give out some information about tomorrow's session. And I'm going to leave some time for some questions in case there's any questions, since this is our first night. Okay. So with our closing song, we are going to sing Taps. This will be the same closing song we have all week. So by the end of the week, you'll know the song if you don't already know it. I will put everybody off of mute. So if you want to have your mic on, go ahead and turn it on. If you don't want it on, then remute yourself. I'm going to ask Grace and Sophie to lead us in Taps. You can do it there.
Don't touch me.
Day is done from the sun, from the lakes, from the hills, from the sky. All is well. Safety, God is God.
All right, thank you guys. Sorry about the feedback there. That's the beauty of technology we have right now. So, all right. Make sure everybody can see what's going on here. All right, so for tomorrow, hopefully I won't lose my voice in the middle of our camp session. So I will work on bringing my voice. For everybody else, I need you to bring a pen or a pencil, 1 to 2 pieces of paper. It can be lined like notebook paper that you use at school, or it can be white printer paper. A stapler is optional, but if you have one readily available, you might want to grab it for tomorrow. And then our song of the day tomorrow is the button song. Like I said, the tutorial is going to post at 8. And then the video, the sing-along, posts at 8:15 tonight after camp ends. So that will be your new song of the day tomorrow. I will send all of this out in an email this evening just so you have this information. Our Zoom link is the same tomorrow. Facebook will be on the same Facebook page. You should just see a new live video going up. so that you can watch that over there. So if you're joining us on Facebook, same spot to find us tomorrow. And then tomorrow we will be starting to work on some more observation. We'll still have a game, we'll have our songs, we'll have our closing and before our closing and all of that, we'll have our welcome that we started off with tonight. If you ended up joining us late, all of this should post over to Facebook. I'm hoping everything worked so that you should be able to see it all over there and you can join in over there. But for tonight, day 1 is done. So we made it through our first evening of virtual camp. Feel free to send us some feedback. I have our Girl Scout email address in there. It's where all the information from camp came from. Let us know why you picked this camp this summer. We'd love to hear some feedback from you. So feel free to send me messages on Zoom. Feel free to send messages over on Facebook. I'm going to leave the chat and this open for another, let's say 3 to 5 minutes. I'll kind of monitor how stuff dies down here. And if you don't have any questions, you can go ahead and sign off. And we hope to see you back tomorrow night at 6:30 Eastern time. And we'll be ready for day 2. So see everybody then. Feel free to leave some comments and let us know what you are hoping to see. Bye, everybody. Yes. Because she asked if she could help. Nope.